Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram
Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna.
Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare
Yeah.
Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna.
Okay. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Vansha kalpatarubhasya kripa sindhubhaya vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्रीला हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधारा श्रीवासद गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। All glories to the assembled devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. This is Aditi Devi Dasi welcoming all of you to Bhakti Sangha conference call this morning. I thank all of you for attending this session. Please forgive me for interrupting your ecstatic chanting. I would like to read the 10 offenses to the holy names which are to be avoided, written by Srila Vyasadeva in Padma Purana. Number 1, to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord. Number 2, to consider the names of the demigod like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of the Lord Vishnu. Number 3, to disobey the orders of the spiritual master. Number 4, to blaspheme the Vedic scripture or scriptures in the pursuance to the Vedic version. Number 5, to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be an imagination. Number 6, to give some interpretation to the holy name of the Lord. Number 7, to commit sinful activities on the strength of holy name. Number 8, to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities, karma kanda. Number 9, to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. Number 10, to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name and to maintain material excuse me, maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to achieve the desired success, Krishna Prema. Once again, I thank everyone for joining this morning Bhakti Sangha conference call. Now let us move to our next session, which is Srimad Bhagavatam class. And before we move on, I would like devotees to introduce themselves, please. And
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji, Prabhuji has to go early, so we will skip the introduction.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Today, Prabhuji, His grace for Sukumar Gaur Prabhuji will be enlightening us on the Bhagavatam class, Canto 7, Chapter 12, and verse 25. Take over the call, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, can you give me just 2 minutes?
Sure, Prabhuji. Yeah.
We can pause the recording actually. Now we can do the introduction, Mataji.
Okay. Devotees, please go ahead. Introduce yourself.
Hare Krishna, Aditi Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from College Station, Texas. Thank you, Mataji, for your services. Welcome to the... Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for giving me the opportunity, Vinita Gandharvika. Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Aditi Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, and all the glories to the assembled devotees. This is Manjari Leela Devi Dasi from Naperville. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Manjari Leela Devidasi. Please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Thank you, Mataji, for joining every morning. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Aditi Mataji, your great Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharajis. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumari Devidasi from Bali. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Kumari Devidasi, please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Thank you, Mataji, for joining this morning. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Aditi Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. My humble obeisances to all the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. This is Sushmita from Canada. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Shushmita Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Thank you, Mataji, for joining every morning. Hare Krishna.
Krishna Aditi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam to you and all the devotees. All grace to Prabhupada, all grace to Guru Maharaj, all grace to Assembled devotee. This is Mohini Lakshmi from Detroit.
Hare Krishna, Mohini Lakshmi Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Thank you, Mataji, for joining this morning. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Mataji, Prabhuji is there. We can hand over the call.
I don't. Okay. Please take over the call, Prabhuji, if you're ready.
Yeah. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminatha Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisheshwanyavadi Paschatya Deshataya Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna. So we welcome all the devotees for this morning Srimad Bhagavatam class. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 12, text number 25. Can we see the shloka? Yeah, thank you. Kekhani Vayu Nivasam Tejasu Ushmam Atmavan Apsu Ashrik Shleshma Puyani Shito Shemam Yatha Udbhavam. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thank you. A sober, self-realized person who has full knowledge should merge the various parts of the body in their original source. The holes in the body are caused by sky. The process of breathing is caused by air. The heat of the body is caused by fire, and the semen, blood, and mucus are caused by water. The hard substances like skin, muscle, and bone are caused by earth. In this way, all the constituents of the bodies are caused by various elements, and they should be merged again into those elements. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. To be self-realized, one must understand the original source of the various elements of the body. The body's combination of skin, bone, muscle, blood, semen, urine, stool, heat, breath, and so on, which all come from earth, water, fire, air, and sky. One must be well conversant with the source of the bodily constituents. Then one becomes a self-realized person, or Atmavan, one who knows the self. Yeah. So thank you all for allowing me to make a presentation on Srimad Bhagavatam this morning. Grateful to all the devotees for being here on this call. So today we'll be discussing from a very important chapter. This is 7th canto. This is the last section of this chapter. And Prabhupada in this shloka, he is highlighting the word Atmavan. Atmavan means self-realized person who knows what Yatha Udbhavam, where from all of them are coming. The source, the origin is known to this person. Yatha Udbhav. Udbhav is the place of origin. Their original source is known to this person, who Atmavan, one who is self-realized. He is well conversant with the source, the origin of what the various parts of the body and the nature that contains. So from shloka 26, 25 to 31, this is the last section of this chapter. So in this section, we see that the Atmavan, the self-realized person, he uses his knowledge, and then what he does in the next slokas from 26 to 31, he will be seeing that he uses his knowledge and submits the respective material elements in the source or the bank from where it has originated. And then he becomes free from the material existence and also from the material designation. And what remains at the end after all that material part is gone is the pure spirit soul, who is qualitatively one with the Supreme Lord. And as he becomes liberated or he gets out of this material world. Now, this process is exclusively now shown here for the Vanaprastha and the sannyasis. Okay. But this process is usually taken by the Ashtanga yogis to get liberation from this material existence. Now, the most difficult part in Ashtanga Yoga is that a sadhaka has to work very hard. He has to use all his personal strength so that he can get liberation, he can get out of this material world. He uses his own strength, his own support system he has to develop, and one small mistake can cause great havoc in the life of Ashtanga Yogi. But even after he achieves the liberation part, what he doesn't know is that he has to get out of this material creation and reach the impersonal form of the Lord. But he has to pass through a person, and when that person allows, it is only at that point of time he can achieve the destination that he desires, to merge in the impersonal Brahman. And who is that person? That is Maya Devi. And we see the same in Brihad Bhagavat when Kumar, after leaving the Brahmaloka, he now goes the section where the Brahman effulgence is seen. But before reaching that, he has to counteract a person who has to confront a person, Maya Devi. And that is where he meets Maya Devi, the Prakriti, the person in charge of this Prakriti. And she says that if you want liberation, you have to worship me. And only when I sanction, you will be able to reach the Brahman platform or the Brahman effulgence of the Lord. And if you are desiring to meet your Lord, whom you worship, Lord Madan Gopal, if you want to meet him, then you will have to please me. And to please Maya Devi, what is Gop Kumar doing? Gop Kumar is meditating on the mantra. He's chanting the mantra that is given to him by his guru. And when he chants the mantra which is given to him by the Supreme Lord, he is easily able to cross over Maya and he enters the zone which is the Brahman effulgence of the Supreme Lord. And that Brahman effulgence is so strong that he is not able to see anything ahead. And that is where again he remembers, he chants the mantra, and he is able to then cross the material existence, the Brahma effulgence, and then he meets Lord Shiva. And after Lord Shiva, he meets the Vaikuntha Vasis, and then he enters the Vaikuntha planet. So, if any person who desires to get out of this material world, he has to take shelter of the spiritual master. And uh, this Ashtanga Yoga process is very difficult because the sadhaka uses his own strength, his personal strength has to be used, and there are shortcomings which may cause him to take not one birth but many births. And after which, even Gita 6th chapter describes he has to take many births, and after many births he may achieve that success which he is aspiring for. But on the contrary, Bhakti Yoga is very easy, and it can be done by any person, irrespective whether his mind is pure, impure, young, old, no qualifications required. But in other processes, there are rigid qualifications that are required, without which success is not at all guaranteed. Just like in Karma Kand or Karma Vidhi, the elements have to be exclusively pure. If the elements that are used for yajna are impure, they may give you exactly opposite results. That is called as pratyavai. And in Ashtanga Yoga or Gyan Marga, you have to have your Chitta Shuddhi. Without Chitta Shuddhi, there is no realization. So what Ashtanga Yoga practices, we see what in modern world, what is called as yoga is only the postural part or the breathing part. But there are four more steps. After that, you enter Samadhi, and then you achieve the Mukti part. So that's a very difficult task in modern days. So Bhakti Yoga is very, very easy compared to the other parts, because here, even if you are not a devotee, even if you make a show off of your devotional practice, still there is quite a success that has been assured to you. Let's take some examples to understand this point. In Bhagavatam 10th canto, we see that Putana, Bakasur, and Agasur. So all these three are siblings. Now all three have got different destination. After in 10th canto, after Vatsasur is killed, then there comes the killing of Bakasur. And after Bakasur comes Agasur. So when Vatsasur is killed, what Krishna does is he goes behind Vatsasur, and Vatsasur is not aware that Krishna is behind him. He immediately grabs his feet, he twirls him around, and Vatsasur is dead. Now all the Gopa friends, when they see that Vatsasur is dead, and Krishna has killed him from behind, they think that he is done by fluke. He is not that he wanted to kill and that is how he got killed. He got killed by fluke. He didn't. It was not Krishna's strength. Somehow he got killed. That is what the Gopa friend think. And when Krishna hears this, he feels very bad that Arey, I killed him in person, and you all are saying that he was killed by fluke. But I didn't kill him. So Krishna then decides that he will kill Bakasur, and there he'll show his prowess. So when Bakasur is seen, Krishna actually enters the mouth of Bakasur, and he splits his beak. He alone enters the mouth, he splits his beak, and he kills Bakasur. So then his friends still don't believe. They say that Lord Vishnu entered your body and through his strength you killed Bakasur. Otherwise, how can you kill? You are so afraid of thunderbolt, lightning, cat, and so many things. So it's not possible. Lord Vishnu did it through you. So again, Krishna thinks that I personally kill, and these people are thinking Lord Vishnu is killing. So then he decides that when Aghasur will be killed, I'll take all of you inside. I personally will come. I will enter there and I'll rescue everybody of you, and to show that yes, I can kill all this asura. And that's what exactly happens. Yog Maya arranges all the things in such a way that all the gopas enter, and then Krishna sees all his friends entering. He enters Agasura's mouth, and by then all the mm, kids are unconscious. Krishna enters Agasura's mouth and he kills Agasur, comes out, gets all the boys out of his body, and they are revived. So Aghasur also, when they see his Aghasur has been killed by Krishna, then they come to an understanding, yes, he has some power of his own. And after Aghasur, we see Brahma Vimon Leela. And this Brahma Vimon Leela, we see Brahmaji is getting bewildered. Now he is the topmost of the yogis. And in but in third canto, we see that Krishna said Brahmaji that he will not be bewildered. But here we see that Brahmaji is personally bewildered by the Supreme Lord. And Bakasur, Vatsasur, Agasur, all three have different destination. For Agasur, Lord gave him Salokya. Salokya means he took him to his own planet in Vaikuntha. Bakasur is different. Vatsasur, all three of them have got different. But look at the other part. When it comes to Putana, Putana Leela is called as Mahavishesha Leela. Why Mahavishesha Leela? Because she didn't perform anything. She copied one great devotee of the Supreme Lord, and she was not given mukti. She was not given salokya, samipya, srashti. She was directly given Krishna prem. And whom did she copy? She copied two things from Mother Yashoda. She copied the dress of Mother Yashoda, and she copied the bhav of Mother Yashoda. Just by copying these two things, Krishna thought that she has carried the mood and dress of Mother Yashoda. She is reminding me of Mother Yashoda. She is trying to imitate my mother, and she thought that she is glorifying Mother Yashoda. That is what Krishna thought, and that is when Krishna decided that I'll purify her and send her to Golok and give my prema bhakti. So here we see that Krishna, even though he's Hatari Gati Dai, the best quality of Krishna is he even liberates his own enemies. So what range has Krishna been providing to his own enemies? Some of them he has given great material opulence, sending them to higher planets. Some of them he has given Sayuja Mukti, where he's allowed them to merge in the impersonal Brahman. Some of them he is giving Salokya in on the same planet Srashti, giving the same opulence. He has been doing so many things. There's a wide range. But all this is not seen when it comes to Ashtang Yogi, because the Ashtang Yogi has to do everything on his own. So, one of names of Krishna is Durghata Ghatana Patu. He is the one who does what is impossible for any other person to do. And on the same side, his own external energy, Maya, is called as Durghata Ghatana Patiyasi. Patiyasi means she can make anything possible for Krishna Lila. That is the power of Krishna's Maya. Just like we see in case of Balaramji, she carried Balramji from womb of Devaki to womb of Rohini. That was the power. She could do Durghata Ghatana, that which was not very ordinarily possible. So if you're trying to think of Krishna and Krishna Leela by logic or tarka, so it is very difficult to understand what exactly is happening in Krishna Leela. So if Krishna Leela is not understood, so there is other part of Krishna Leela, that is the creation of the Shrishti. So this part is shown here, how the yogi transcends the Shrishti. So the yogi, even if he has to get out, he has to face Maya, just like we saw in case of Gopkumar. So how can we think of just crossing this material existence based on our own strength? Krishna's energy is achintya. And one of those energies is this Mahamaya, this external energy of Krishna. And Krishna is achintya tarka gochara. Logic stops. You can't think or understand Krishna by your own logic. That won't be possible at any given point of time. So when people raise question how Krishna did this, how Krishna did that, that in itself is a proof that Durgata Ghatan, what others can't do, Krishna can do. And if you're trying to understand the person who can do the impossible by your basic logic, it in itself is petty. So if Krishna is achintya tarka gochara, he is beyond the understanding of the senses. He's achintya, he cannot be understood, and that is where the role of the spiritual master comes. And when the external energy sees that there is no person who is guiding this jiva, then she keeps him in her trap. So there are three types of mayas which are been told by Vallabhacharya. There is Vimukha Janam Mohini. Mohini is this Maya Shakti. And that is our Mahamaya. She exclusively works for the jivas who want to stay away from Krishna. Then there is Swajana Mohini. Swajana Mohini is where we see pure devotees of Krishna getting bewildered. Sometimes we see Mata Yashoda and then the Baba getting bewildered. Sometimes we see Brahmaji getting bewildered. Sometimes we see Arjuna getting. So this is done by Swajana Mohini. And there is one more energy of Krishna, that is Swamohini. So Mohini means that energy which can even cover Krishna. And this is what we saw in Agasur's case. Krishna himself planned that next time I'll enter along with my cowherd friends and then show them. But when Krishna sees that his cowherd friends are entering the mouth of Agasur, he starts crying. Why? Because he feels separation from his friends. What will happen to them? Like, but you only decided that you will allow them and then you will rescue them. But here, Swamohini, Krishna's own energy has covered him, so he can't understand. So, what the point that we are trying to make here is to get exit from this material existence is absolutely very, very difficult. So, now there are two ways to get out of this material existence. One is a gradual path, which is described in this chapter as Varnashrama Dharma, and the other is the path of accepting a bona fide guru, and through his help, you get out of this material existence. So, if we all wish to get out quickly, then the best part is to accept a bona fide spiritual master. Otherwise, in the last chapter also we saw that there is a gradual process. Shudra, then you practice Shudra according to Varnashram, then you become a Vaishya, then after many lifetimes of Vaishya, you become a Kshatriya, and after many lifetimes of Kshatriya, you become a Brahmana. And then after Brahmana, then you become a Vaishnava, and then you get out of this. So ultimately, what makes difference is having a bona fide person, a spiritual master, who can help you cut down the n number of lives that we are planning, knowingly or unknowingly. Haribol. So that is what is the power of a proper spiritual bona fide guru. And this is exactly what is shown in this chapter, in the starting verses, still shloka number 15. In this chapter, basically 2 points are discussed. First is the normal duties according to the Varna and Ashram, Brahmachari, Grahastha, and then Vanaprastha. And then Vanaprastha ends with this yogic process. And the rules of giving up body, how a Vanaprastha should give up his body, that is described in this chapter. And the very basic thing that comes in this chapter, which is the very foundational thing required, whether you be a brahmachari, grahastha, vanprastha, whether be you in any varna or any ashram, you will require these things, and that is what is shown in this chapter. So the very first shloka, which Prabhupada usually used to repeat again and again, is brahmachari guru kule vasandanta guru ritam. The brahmachari stays in the gurukul for what? The benefit of guru. And what he has to do is to control his senses. And how does he do that? By submission. Danta is controlling senses. Guru Hitam. His whole life is for the benefit of Guru. And this attitude of submission towards this Guru will help him gradually evolve. And then he can go to the platform where he can actually meet the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or where he can enter the Leela. Because without submission, entering the Leela is absolutely very, very difficult. Not difficult, it's impossible. Because in the Leela, when you enter Leela, there has to be submission, because there are services that have to be done. And that to be done for the pleasure of the divine couple. So here in the very first shloka, we see the submission part. So this training is for both male and female, boys and girls. Both have to undergo this training to be under somebody's submission, and that is where spiritual life begins. Without submission, there is no question of spiritual life. Women learn submission at home from their mother. Boys go to the Gurukul and learn submission from their Guru. Only when he submits, that is when he is called as a Shishya. Comes from the Dhatu Shish. Shish means to voluntarily submit. He gives up his own independence and then surrenders to his superiors, and that is where he starts his practice. So that submission is very, very crucial, and it becomes the foundation of the spiritual life. So spiritual life or material life, submission is compulsory. Without submission, there is no beginning of spiritual or material life. Even to get material education, we submit to the teacher at the school or at the college, and that is where we get education, we get trained. So there is a huge connection between the shloka number 1 and what is now discussed at the end of the chapter, that is the living, that the Vanaprastha follows the entire process and he gets out of this material world. That is the giving up of the body. So now what the second part comes is, after he submits, then what he has to do after the submission, he has to practice certain processes. And in that processes, he has to worship. In the second shloka, we see that he worships whom? He worships his spiritual master 3 times a day. He worships the fire 3 times a day. 3 times he worships the Supreme Lord, and 3 times he worships the Sun God. So all this has to be done. Now you may say 3 times worship is for those who have Gayatri. So even if you don't have a Gayatri mantra given by your guru, you still can sit and meditate on all these 4 elements, that is sun, fire, guru, and the Supreme Lord. For that, you don't need any Gayatri. Just meditating and understanding and trying to take shelter in itself is the sign of surrender. So that worship part is taught, you have to worship. Then the third part that is told to you is how you bow down before your guru. Why you bow down? Because that humility has to be cultivated. You have to constantly offer respects to your guru, to the deity that you worship. And then the fourth part that comes is the simplicity in the dressing. See, dressing also has a huge impact on our spiritual practices. Here, what is spoken, the dress code is spoken, the hairstyle is spoken, what elements he carries, that is spoken, and what actually are his decorations, that is also spoken. The sacred thread and the shastra is uh, the decoration of the brahmachari, that is what he said. So, and this belongs not only to brahmachari, but it belongs to everybody. The shastra is what decorates the intelligence of the sadhaka, because that is the place where he gets the exact knowledge of what to do, when to do, how much to do, when not to do. All this is given in the shastra. So that following of shastra becomes his abhushan, his ornaments, and by following that, then he is decorated by the various qualities. So everything matters in spiritual life, because all these things create certain impact on the subtle mind, or on the subtle existence. And again, in the fifth shloka, there is one word that is used as bhiksha. He goes for begging twice. Why begging? Because he has to show the world that I am not independent. I work for someone. I earn for someone. So even if it is a grahastha, he does his job. He earns his money on behalf of his guru. He does that for his guru. And see, when somebody gets initiated, initiation doesn't mean that you just accept a guru. Initiation means you offer everything that you have to your guru. Even your salary has been offered to your guru, not partly but fully. But in this modern times, it may not be possible. So at least some contribution has to be given to your guru. Initiation means your entire existence doesn't belong to you. It absolutely doesn't belong to you anymore. That is what Diksha is all about. You surrender everything, your entire existence. So henceforth, we all have to remember how we dress, what we eat, what we speak, where we eat, whom we speak with, how we speak with, because that is going to affect the reputation of our spiritual master. If you read Prabhupada's purport, these things are made very, very clear. Why all these things are required? Because there are certain qualities that we have to develop, and that becomes the responsibility of the guru. Just like Mahabharata, there is this famous story of these three students of Dhaumya Rishi, Upamanyu, Aruni, and Ved. And all these three show three different qualities that are required for a disciple to be cultivated. By Upamanyu, all these three disciples show three different qualities. What are the three different qualities? By Upamanyu, his guru wanted to show that when teacher gives you an instruction, you should not violate, even if it costs your body. Means even if you die, you don't have to violate that instruction. Through Aruni, he told that you follow the instruction as it is told, you don't use your intelligence. And through the third disciple, he taught that even if your guru gives you n number of services, you should not break down because of the hard work. I'll narrate these three stories very briefly, because from shloka 1 to shloka 15, all the things that are given in this story are there in this 15 shlokas. So Upamanyu, through Upamanyu, what did his guru want to teach? That you never violate the teacher's instruction. So he sees this boy Upamanyu, who is a student, and he tells, you go and take care of my cows. So he goes, and the student Upamanyu takes care of this cow. But the guru says, whole day I keep him fasting, only one time I give him food, and still his weight is increasing. So he asks, what do you do? He says, I go and ask for madhukari. So he says, no, till I tell you, you should not be begging for anything anywhere. So he says, okay. So next time he says, what he does is he goes for bhiksha, but he goes twice. He takes one bhiksha for his guru and other for himself. So he eats, because so his guru says, you still are going fat. He said, I beg one for you and one for me. He says, no, nothing doing like that, because you are taking part of the other students also. So he says, you should not do that. So he stops begging also. Then he goes, and what he sees is, after the calf has drank, he drinks the remaining milk. And he, guru sees he's still becoming fat. He says, what do you do? He says, I drink the milk. He says, no, you can't do that because they are my cows. That milk belongs to me. You have to ask me and then only. He says, okay. Then still he is becoming plump. The guru's asking, what do you do? He says, I drink the foam that comes out of the mouth of the calf. He says, no, you shouldn't be doing that because when the calf sees you hungry, he keeps creating that foam. So that's not good for him and you. So then one day he's so hungry because there's nothing to eat. So he eats some leaves and then he falls in a well and he loses his eyesight. Then he loses his eyesight. Then the guru says that he's not come back. It's now evening time. So he comes along with all his disciples and they search and they call him out, Upamanyu, Upamanyu. He says, I'm here. I've fallen in a well. So he comes and his guru says, oh, you have fallen in a well. You can't see because you have gone blind. So what do? You take, you chant the Gayatri of Ashwini Kumara. So he chants the Gayatri of Ashwini Kumara and the Ashwini Kumaras come there. Ashwini Kumaras are very pleased, asked him, what do you? So he says, I have lost my eyesight. So they give him a cake. They say, take this cake and eat. He says, no, I'll have to ask my guru whether I should be eating this. So then Ashwini Kumar tell him that your guru, when he was a student, we gave him the same cake. He had some other purpose, but we gave. He didn't ask his guru. Why are you asking your guru? He says, no, my guru wants me to learn this lesson. I'll do this. So he asks his guru, and his guru blesses him that yes, you eat this, you get back your eyesight, and now you have finished your education. So this is how he blesses his student. And the Ashwini Kumaras, they tell him that see, your guru's teeth are black. Why? Because he didn't follow his guru's instruction. But we will make your teeth golden so that the entire world remembers that you followed your guru's instruction. You didn't violate. So this is what is to be learned, not to violate the instruction. Then from Aruni, he learned what? Follow the instruction as it is. So his guru tells him, go and take care of my paddy field. So he goes there. He sees that the there is a breach and that is to be repaired. So he tries to repair, but the entire water is gushing in the field. He thinks that the field will be destroyed. So he keeps his body as a breach, and that is how stops the water. So evening time, Guru sees is not returned. He comes shouting. He says, "Where are you? Where are you, Aruni?" Then he says, "I'm here, lying here." He says, "What? For what sake?" He said, "You told me to take care of the field, but this water is entering, so I made myself here as a breach so that the water doesn't enter." He's so happy. He says, "I give you all the benedictions. All knowledge will be yours. It will be fresh in your mind." So verbatim following, even if you have to die, there is no problem. Don't use your intelligence. Stop water, do anything. He did it. And third is Ved. So Ved, he was given so much of hard work, day, night, day, night. His guru used to give him household duties, ashram duties, go cut wood, do this. He made him work like anything. But he never complained. And his guru was so satisfied at the end. He said, "Now your education is done. You go and all the knowledge you want, you will get by my mercy." And he gets it. So this Ved has one disciple, and his disciple, his name is Uttank Rishi, becomes a great Rishi later on. And so this Uttank stays at this guru's house, and one day he has to go out for some work. And while going, Ved tells his disciple that take care of my family, take care of my house. He says, okay, I'll take care of your house. Now here, what Ved had learned, he taught to his disciple. And the first thing that he taught to his disciple was sense control. Now, when Uttanka is at Guru's home, Guru is not at his place. Now, his Guru has told him, you take care of my family also. Means his wife. He has no children by then. You take care of my family, whoever are there. He says, okay, I'll take. And at that time, his Guru's wife is in her fertility period. She's ready for to produce a baby. And that is where she sends a maid and tell him that my body is in fertile period, so you can procreate through me. That is where Uttang says, no, my guru has not ordered me to do this. And that is where he displays such serious sense control, and he rejects that proposal twice. Now, when his guru comes back, then he understands that what Uttanka has done. He's become so happy. He becomes so happy. He says that I'll give you all the knowledge that I have. Just by serving Guru, all the knowledge that his Guru Ved had, Ved gave it to Uttanka. So all these things, exact same things are repeated here. How to deal with Guru? How to deal with the wife of Guru? Because see, here there is one shloka that we all know, very popular. Prabhupada used to say, why male female association has to be restricted. Prabhupada used to always quote this fire and butter, fire, and the same shloka is here in this chapter. See, wherever there is free mixing, please understand it is only a matter of time. All the rules and regulations will be diluted. That's the law. Now, here there is no gender bias. People think speaking against a gender. No, it is not about gender. This is how the entire creation is functioning. It is functioning on this law. It is a law. Law means it will neither forgive you nor forgive anybody else. Law is law. It works for anybody and everybody. So when Uttanka is so cautious about how to deal with his guru's wife, we all have to be very cautious when we deal with Guru and Guru's disciple also, and other God brothers and other God sisters also. That protocol has to be followed under all circumstances. Because here there is one thing, when the Guru, if the Guru's wife is younger, then the brahmacharis shouldn't go there. Prabhupada writes it very clearly. Because this fire and butter example works there also. And we see this in 9th canto. When Chandra or Somadev, when when Somadev comes to meet her, now she is beautiful, he is beautiful. And Somadev gets attracted to his guru's wife. And they keep on speaking for a long time, long time. This comes in Devi Bhagavad. This story comes in Devi Bhagavad. And they speak for a long time. See, just speaking for a long time, both are carried away. Both are carried away by their attraction. And then Somadev says, why you are staying here with this old person? You come to my house. And she agrees and she goes with him. And the entire story is given in great detail in Devi Bhagavad. So these laws are laws. Nobody is above these laws. And Prabhupada writes in great detail, even those who are to that extent, to that great extent of self-realization, because there is a question answer that comes after this 16th 17th 18th shloka. They'll ask, so if the person is self-realized, still will he fall victim to this gender attraction? Yes, it is yes. And then itself becomes the great obstacle in achieving liberation or mukti or the love of Krishna. Because, and that is why the word that is used for feminine gender is pramada. Da is dayak. She gives what? Pramada. Pramada. She has the power to cover the intelligence of any person. And does it apply to the male? Yes, both have that power to cover the intelligence. It's not only about a female, it's about both the genders. So to reach the platform of getting out of this material world will require serious hard work. It's not a joke. We just chant somewhere and just we are going here and there, and no. That's something that is a part, but more important than that is our own seriousness in following the instructions, because nobody is above instructions here. Sorry, that's not the case. That's not the case. Okay. And the last part by which we'll end the session is we have to understand the working, because here, if you read the translation and purport, the entire objects are given back to the controlling demigods and the bank that they hold of that object. So this reversal process is taking place. So I'll just briefly give you summary of the process of creation, and that entire process has to be reversed. For example, let's understand now Jiva is coming from the spiritual guy into the material world. So as he enters the material world, there are banks of earth, water, fire, air, ether. Starts with false ego. He takes each element he carries with him, and that is how he enters the material world. So there is a covering of all these elements on him, and that is how he comes into material. So there is a whole covering, and we know this is 10 times larger than the other one. So while going out, he has to reverse the entire process. Give up this covering, then give up the other covering, then give up the other covering. That is how he gives up each covering. And what is left when all the coverings are given out is the pure spirit soul. So that same process is given here in this last part from shloka number 26 to shloka number 31. So let's in a short while, I'll just make you understand what's happening. So we all know that when the creation stops, all the jivas enter the body of Lord Karanodakshaya Vishnu. So all the jivas go there, they are taking rest. But just like when we go to sleep, after certain time when the body freshens up, then we feel to start again. So when the jivas are there in the womb of the Supreme Lord, at certain point the jivas start, just like before you wake up from your sleep, you start moving your body, right? So that's the time when you understand that yes, now sleep is coming to an end part, it's coming to the final stage. So when the jivas start moving in that inert state, then the Lord understand that yes, it's time, the sleep is now getting over. They want to start functioning again, they want to complete the desires which were incomplete in the previous creation. So now when the Lord sees that this jivas, they want to act. Now for acting, they'll need a body. So for the body, then he creates three things, that is Adi Bhut, Adi Atma, and Adi Daiva. Okay, now what is this Adi Bhut, Adi Atma, and Adi Daiva? See, now in the creation, I'll just tell the series, and then we'll come to Adi Bhut, Adi Atma, and Adi Daiva. Now when the Lord wants the creation to happen, for example, if the jiva has five panchagyanendriya, so jiva will have panchagyanendriya only when the Lord has the panchagyanendriya. Okay, and that entire bunch of the gyanendriyas, or the entire form, and the form that will be replicated in the jiva, like father has a body, that is why son has a body. Father has eyes, that is why the son has the eyes. Okay, so all that is there in the Lord has to be in the jiva. So in for material creation, Lord takes a material form. That is what we call Virata Purusha. So now when the Virata Purusha is about to get started, so first thing you have to hear something. So then hearing is created. For hearing, sky has to be created. Okay, and for hearing, what you need? Sound. And for sound to be heard, you need what? Ears. Okay, and now this ear is controlled by a particular demigod. So that particular demigod who controls the ear is called as Adi Daiva. Now, who is the Adi Atma? We'll discuss that. Okay. So this demigod in control for ear is the Drika Devata. The directions are the presiding deity for this. Now, when the ears come into picture, then there has to be skin that has to come. For skin to manifest, first the perceiving element, that is air. From air, touch, then skin, and the deity. Okay, so this deity is called Adi Daiva, the skin is called Adi Atma, and the Adi Bhuta, that is the air element. Okay, so air becomes Adi Bhuta, the element. What is manifested through that? The Adi Atma, the skin. And who is the controlling deity of this skin? That is the Riksha Devata. So this is how it will function. Then fire is created. For why fire is created? Because you want to see the form. To see the form, you have to have the organ, that is the eye. And who is the controlling deity? The Adi Daiva, that is Surya Dev. Then comes water. For tasting. For tasting, we need tongue. So tongue is manifested. Who is the controlling deity? Varuna Dev. Then earth. So that smell. For smell, we need nose. And who is the controlling deity of nose? That is Vayu Dev. So in this way, all these elements are created just for one thing, that is the jiva. For the jiva to have so much, this is sequentially created. And in the reverse order, the jiva has to give back all the elements, and that is how the jiva can get out of this material world. So this same process is shown here in this last section from 26 to 31. So there is an organ that is called Adi Atma. There is the object for the eye or the nose or the tongue or the skin or the ear, that is called as Adi Bhuta, and there is a controlling deity that is called as Adi Daiva. Okay, three things: Adi Atma, Adi Bhuta, Adi Daiva. Daiva is the controlling deity, Adi Bhuta is the object, and Adi Atma is the eye or the Panchagyanendri or the organ which wants that object to be enjoyed. So that is how this creation of three elements, Adi Atma, Adi Bhuta, and Adi Daiva, is done only and only for whom? For the Jiva, so that he can enjoy in this material world. Now, one last point. Now, people say that this Virat Rupa is material. No, it is not material, because even the Lord has three forms, which we all know this shloka, famous shloka. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaniti Shabdati. Okay, so the Lord has three forms: the impersonal form, the Paramatma form, and the personal form. All these forms of the Lord are present all times, all space, every moment. Now let's understand this by example. Narad Muni. Narad Muni goes to Dwarka. When he goes to Dwarka, he sees, he already knows that Vasudev and Devaki gave birth to one Krishna. But when Krishna is in Dwarka, he sees Krishna marrying 16,100 princes at the same time. So he is shocked. How come this is happening? Let's take another example. Krishna eating with his Gopa friends. Every friend is feeling he is with me, he is with me, he is with me. Let's take third example. Krishna with the gopis. Each gopi feels that he is with me, and it's not imaginary. He is a person. He is standing there. So just like the Paramatma feature, Andantarastha Paramanu, Jayantarastham, the Paramatma is holding the two atoms, the two neutrons, the two protons. That is the Paramatma form. The Virat Rupa is governing all the senses, because all senses are coming from the Virat Rupa. Why we are called as Akarta? Why don't we act? Because the Virat Rupa, Virat Purusha, is seeing through all of us, through all our eyes. See, I may see only through my eyes. I can't see through your eyes. But the Virat Purusha can see through your eyes, my eyes, everybody's eyes. That is why Sahastra Aksha, Sahastra Pad, Sahastra Bahu. That Virat form is having unlimited eyes, unlimited hands. Why? Because all entities, five senses, are governed by him. They are coming from him. Okay, so Virat Purusha cannot be called imaginary. It is changing, because some jivas leave their body, some jivas take their body. So there is change in it. And just because it is changing, that is why people call it imaginary. But it is not imaginary. This Jagat is Satya. Jagan Satya. This world is real. We have to understand this. So now let's come to the three examples. Narad Muni seeing Krishna marrying, Gopsakas eating with Krishna, and gopis. Now, how did one Krishna come between each gopi or with each gopi? Krishna was always present in that many forms. That is called as replica. It is not expansion, it is replica. That is called Prakash Vigraha. So, Krishna as Prakash Vigraha, just like that Paramatma is present in between each atom, is also present between all of us at this given point of time. How you now you will say, how are you explaining this? How can you say this is present here? Now tell me, who was there to insert Nursing Dev in the pillar? Did Nursing Dev enter the pillar a day before, or hour before, or a minute before? Narsinghdev was already there. He's already existing. Only thing is, do you have the access to see him? Do you have the access to experience him? No. That's the only problem. We have no access. He is there as Prakash Vigraha. If you want to do Ras Leela, it is equally possible right now. Only thing is the access is denied. Krishna as Prakash Vigraha, just like Paramatma is present everywhere, just like Krishna's Brahman is present everywhere. Krishna as a person, Swayam Bhagavan, Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavan, all these three forms are eternally present at all given time, place. And that is shown by all these three examples. Choice is ours. Which form we want to access? We want to access Brahman, we want to access Paramatma, we want to accept Bhagavan as a person. And what is stopping? That Mahamaya is stopping us from understanding Krishna, because that is there in the form of covering of Agyan. So all these senses, why are they called Agyan? Because they don't allow us to perceive Krishna. He is there, right? When you chant Hare Krishna, he is there before us. Are we able to perceive? No. That is the deep covering. And this yogi is somehow trying to uncover and get out of the material existence. Are we ready to work that hard? Do we have that much of patience? That is why Prabhupada has given us the easiest means. Liberation through sound. Hearing about Krishna becomes the mean and the end. When we hear about Krishna, it not only purifies Cheto Darpana Marjanam, but it also allows us to enter the pastime, enter the eternal reality. When we hear any pastime of Krishna, just like for example, there are certain pastimes which helps us deal with lust. So when we hear that pastime, we are overcoming that anartha, and not only overcoming that anartha, we are getting ready to enter the eternal pastimes. Hearing works in both ways, purifying also and giving us the access to the eternal reality. That is why Prabhupada used to say, our path is liberation through hearing. We don't have to work this hard like this yogi, go and doing the entire reverse process, and there is still a chance you can fall back. So today we have to decide which path we have to choose. This hard path, which is so difficult to achieve Krishna, or the path of oral reception from a bona fide guru, which is easiest, which can cut through millions of lifetimes. That is the power of one pure devotee. One pure devotee. As soon as pure devotee enters your life, future n number of lives are cut down. That's the guarantee. Henceforth, max 1 or 2 life if somebody makes a mistake. If he is sincere, this is the last life. That's the guarantee when a pure devotee enters our life. Okay, thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. What a wonderful class, Prabhuji. Very, very nice practical examples which make us to understand it very clear as always. Whenever you come, it's a story time, especially means in my case, I would say. So very, very nice class, Prabhuji. I thoroughly enjoyed the class, and at last you said when we come in contact with the pure devotees, and the devotee who is in contact also should be very sincere. Means like in my case, I'm talking about myself. So only when we are sincere, then the God will just means like give some openings to us. Okay, you can come inside. So thank you so much, Prabhuji, for that. And do you have time, Prabhuji, for question and answers?
5 more minutes, we can take 1 or 2.
Okay, fine. So dear devotees, only 5 minutes Prabhuji is having. So I think Manchari Leela Mataji is there. Please go ahead, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to ask a question. And Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhuji, very, very details and lots of points to I guess understand in your class. I'll have to definitely hear again. But my one question is, you mentioned about the 3 types of mayas or illusory energies. So one is the Mahamaya, you say, which keeps the devotees away, or it works on devotee or people who want to stay away from Krishna, and that's Mahamaya. And then there's Yogamaya, and then you said the 2, the Swamohini, and what was the second one? I forgot the second one.
The first one was Vimukha Jan Mohini.
Vimukha Jan.
Vimukha
Okay.
Jan Mohini is for the jivas who want to stay away from Krishna.
Right. Okay.
Then there is a Swajana Mohini, the very
Swajana.
close associates Swajana of Krishna. They are covered by the internal potency.
Okay.
So that is Swajana Mohini. And the third is Swa Mohini. Swa means Krishna himself is covered by his own energies for the Leela sake.
Okay, so the last 2, the Swaja Mohini and Swa Mohini.
Last one is Swa Mohini. Swa means Krishna Swa himself is covered. Right. And Swajana means Krishna's own people are covered.
So Swajana and Swa Mohini, those 2 are they part of the Yogamaya?
Yes, correct.
Okay, correct. So one is the Mahamaya, and then the 2 are part of the Yogamaya.
Correct.
I see. Okay. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for making me also clear with your question. So, Prabhuji, I don't think so questions are there, but only praises are there, as usual from Sindhu Mataji is saying that very thankful for your association, and Lalita and Dinabandhu Prabhuji and Mataji are saying all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Every single time you come and speak to us, we are affected so deeply and are hearing so much subject matter for the first time. Thank you for presenting Krishna consciousness in such a way that attracts us so dramatically. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
I forgot to offer my obeisances to Mataji and Prabhuji. I was in a hurry because this timing is really very odd. So sorry, Prabhuji, Mataji, last time I couldn't see you.
Yes.
But very desirous every time to be with you and seeing you is such a wonderful experience. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for your wonderful class. I know timing is very difficult. Because I was there in India last year. It gets really dark very soon, and it's the timing for evening programs, and
yes, that's what the reason.
Class comes in between, so very difficult from India. Yeah. But summer is okay. Summer is good.
Yeah, summer is always okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So I think with your permission, we end the call here. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Let's pay our obeisances to Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone.